What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I am going to get tires mounted up on the vintage Enkei RS3s. Tires came in last week. I did go with a 165/45. It's a pretty small tire, but I think on a 7-inch wide wheel, it's not going to be too stretched or too small. And as I mentioned in the last episode, I think a 16 on an EF Honda is pretty big. It's a pretty big wheel, but since it is my daily, I didn't want to go with something too small to where I didn't have enough gearing to like drive on the highway comfortably. So this 165/45 16 in comparison to the 175/70 13s that are on it puts this, I think, just under an inch smaller overall diameter than the 13s that are on it now. So shouldn't see too much of a spin out on the highway as far as revving out before being able to travel like 75 miles an hour comfortably, which means I'm also only going to get about a ½ inch more drop out of going to this setup from the 13s. So that's good. Like if I was trying to pan the car out, I'd want it to go even lower. But thankfully, since it is my daily, I like it being low, but I don't want it too low to where I can't drive it. That's for all the custom cars. So I think I'm going to run over to my buddy Perry Freeman's shop, Quick Everett's Garage here in Chattanooga. He's been nice enough to let me use his tire machine when I need to get tires mounted so I don't take up one of his guys' time. But I'm grateful that he lets me use his machine since I don't have one here at my shop yet. Also, Diplomat is sold. Sold the Diplomat a couple weeks ago. Paid in full, but the guy that's coming to get it isn't going to be here till about next week. So about once a week I've been coming out and letting the thing idle since he's going to be driving it, I think, at least 5 or more hours home. So I've been idling it, just letting it run. I did really want to dive into that car and bag it and do some cool things to it, but the front suspension in that car is a transverse torsion bar setup, and it's really weird. And to go real low with that car, I think you'd basically have to cut everything out and rebuild. And with the Auto Union project on deck, I don't have the time to even entertain that. So glad it's going to a good home. He's a Mopar guy. He's got darts and dusters and all sorts of weird stuff. Auto Union is still sitting on the back burner, which is not where I want it to sit. I want to be full throttle with this thing right now to get it hopefully drivable by next spring. And that is a daunting task with where it is right now. I still got to put a lot of attention into the pan, but I want to shorten it here pretty soon. I got to shorten it by 2 inches. I got to address what I'm going to do as far as floors go. I think before I go over to Perry's, I'm going to polish up the lips just to clean them up a little bit more. Since they're a face mount, I thought about taking the faces out altogether and getting down in around the edges here. But since I can do that whenever, even when the tires are on, I think I'll do that some other time. So for now, I'm not going to spend too much time taking them apart just to go put tires on them. I really want to drive the car with these on it first to make sure everything fits the way I want it to. All right, so I just gave him a quick polish, like just a one application polish. I used the Mother's Mag and aluminum polish. This stuff, in my opinion, works amazing. I've used a handful of other wheel polishing products for aluminum, and I feel like I'm not the only one that would say the Mother's is pretty good. That's usually what I'll do when I first buy a set of wheels is I'll take some metal polish and I'll do a section hoping that my compound turns black, because if it's just raw aluminum, your compound will turn black. And if it's cleared, it won't do anything. Also, as far as center caps go, I don't know if these are the original center caps. They're weird if they are. I would imagine they would say Enkei or have the Enkei like Infinity logo on them or something. These 3 little casting bumps fit right inside the ID hole of the actual plastic center cap itself. So these might be original, but I don't really like them. And especially the color against the gold. They stand out a lot. I've separated this aluminum piece from one of the plastic center caps. And I think what I'm going to do is laser cut and laser engraved a 2-color acrylic flat piece that'll adhere to this, much like the aluminum piece did, with the Enkei logo, perhaps. And I think that'll fit a little bit better. It'll be a better logo, in my opinion. It'll be noticeable that it's an Enkei wheel, not just a center cap that says racing. For now, I'm going to load these things up, load the tires up, and head over to Perry's shop. All right, guys, we're loaded up. Gonna head to Perry's, but first I'm headed to UPS to drop off the Tuner Evolution Awards. So I finally got those all finished, all wrapped up this morning, packaged up. Miami Tuner Evo is next weekend, the 17th of December. I just got a little over a week to get them there, but they're going second day air. Sore I can't be there, but super excited and honored to be able to make those awards for those guys. I think this is their 15th or 16th year of doing Tuner Evolutions. So I'm gonna run those to UPS first, grab a coffee, head straight to Perry's.
And then ever since then, it has this all called Sal, and I was like, hey man, have you ever had the e-brake stick on it? He goes, as soon as he got that one click, it was game over. Alright, out of the six, fuck off.
I didn't know I had one.
He just wiggled the fucking brake. I grabbed the brake line.
All right, so we just got back from Quick Everett's Garage. I want to give a huge thanks to my friend Hal, one of the owners of Quick Everett's, for all the help. I got started on mounting the tires, and they were kind of giving me a hard time. We ended up having to use the bead blaster to get them on, which is kind of funny because these are a reverse mount wheel. With my experience, any 7 to 8 inch wide wheel between 15 and 16 inch with a 165 anything, 165 40 through 50, basically goes on and almost seats. You can just put air to it, and even with a core in your valve stem, it'll seat right up, no problem. But these ones, for some reason, gave us a hard time. They didn't want to roll out to basically meet the bead of the wheel, or the seat of the wheel, I should say. But while I mounted them up, Hal worked on the balancer. So huge thanks to Hal for just kind of hanging out and balancing these things while I got them mounted up. All right, it's the next morning. Rain came in yesterday. Rain's coming in today. I'm going to get the EF in here. I'm going to get the Corvair out. It's not raining at the moment. All right, so before I put it up in the air and put the Enkeis on, I kind of want to get an overall or preliminary measurement as to where we're at on the stocks and where we'll be at with the Enkeis. So on a tire height calculator, these 175/70 13s are an inch larger than the 165/45 16s that are on the 3 spokes. So being an inch shorter overall in diameter of the 16s, that'll get me a 1/2 inch drop on the bottom end of that diameter. So I didn't really want to go too much lower with this car. It is my daily at the moment, and going from a nice cushy balloon tire to a pretty small sidewall tire, I'm gonna feel even more imperfections in the road. I also forgot to get a hub measurement on the Civic because the hub bore of the wheels are larger than the hubs on the Civic. So I want to order hub rings just so I'm not driving around on the studs holding the car up. So I could probably Google this, but since I am right here, about 56 mil. Does that sound right to all you Honda boys? All right, so the Enkeis are about a 73 mil bore. Not a huge difference between the sizes and tires, which is good, but there is a pretty significant difference in sidewall size. All right, guys, it's down on the 3 spokes. I did torque all my lug nuts. I didn't film that. I went around and torqued everything once I got it on the ground. And I put the center caps back in the wheels too, just for the sake of getting some shots of this car outside, taking it for a spin, making them look a little bit more complete. But I think in the next episode or an upcoming episode, I'm gonna custom make some center caps with my laser machine. The car's down and I've been around it with a tape measure. The rear has only come down about 1/8 of an inch. So although I haven't moved the car yet, I have kind of pushed down on the car to get the suspension to settle. And the front is about a 1/16 lower. Technically, by just the measurements of the tires themselves, it should go down a little bit more than that. I think a little bit meatier of a tire would have been good since the wheels do tuck. My biggest fear with this was going 16s on an EF were going to be too big. So I wanted to compensate for that with going with a much smaller tire, even at the risk of sacrificing a little bit of ride quality. Gonna go for a coffee run, see how this thing rides on the 165/45 16s. All right, mud flap dragage. Okay, so I know the car needs an alignment. I haven't done that since Kyle and I put the coilovers in when I first picked the car up from him out in South Carolina, but this thing rides really, really well down the road. I dare say, at least on this road, my main street here, which has plenty of imperfections and ruts and divots, it's riding better than it was on the 13s with balloon tires, which I would have bet money was just the opposite with how small of a sidewall tire I just went to. first drive on the Enkei 3 spokes. Success. The car looks great. I love it. I know 3 spokes aren't for everyone, but I've always wanted to own a set, and I'd never seen these RS3s before, specifically in a 3-piece. I don't think I've ever seen an Enkei 3-piece wheel in person. I don't feel like the way you customize a car defines particularly your style. I like far too much stuff to be defined by one type of car and one type of styling. So I like to kind of experiment with all of it, as most of you guys who know me may already know. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like 3-spoke wheels, if you've owned a 3-spoke wheel and what you had it on. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the EF box. And yes, I did hear your comments. From day one, the plan has been to trim restore the bumpers and the trim. Can't wait to dial this in a little bit more. Maybe some spacers front and rear. I've been working with my friend Matt Varker over in the United Kingdom on some new Ludwig's Garage design work, and he just shot some stuff over just a few days ago that is so good. I'm so excited about some of the new designs. Gonna try to have a drop for you guys before Christmas, or at least before the end of the year, even if it's a pre-order. Sweatshirts, long sleeves, maybe some track jackets, but some hard goods that I'll probably make here with the laser. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll keep everybody up to date here. LudwigsGarage.com link is in the video's description below, as well as the Patreon link. Thank you again to all of you guys who are over there. I'll see you in the next episode.